The 1517 to Paris is directed by Clint Eastwood and is the true story of these three guys, two of them soldiers, who prevent this terrorist incident on a train in Paris. Or at least that's kind of what the film's about. The film is actually the life story of these three guys, and it shows their lives from middle school to the military academy all the way up until this moment on the train. And the gimmick of this film, if I can call it a gimmick, is that the three real life people who prevented the incident on the train play themselves in this film. And that sounded kind of interesting because I don't think a biopic's ever done that, where you have the real people play themselves in the film of their story. And I was a little bit cautious about it because they're not professional actors, so they could have easily have been bad in the film. But they were okay, they gave decent performances. But since that's the thing that's driving the marketing campaign for this film, you're almost expecting it to rely on that. And the luster of that kind of wears off and you're like, okay, give us a compelling story please. The only real benefit of having the real life people in this film playing themselves is at the end of the film where they're splicing film footage and news footage, and it's very, very seamless. But apart from that, they really didn't need to get the real people to play themselves, but even if they did get actors, the film itself would not really be that much different. The performances don't really matter that much because the film is just dull. When you hear about this film, you're like, oh, a terrorist incident on a train that was prevented by these three soldiers, that sounds like a potentially interesting film. So you go to this film to see that, and you get that at the very, very end of the film, and for the rest of it, you just get a story about these three guys that you're just not really interested in because not much happens in their lives. Their lives aren't entirely uneventful, but it's just not really compelling to watch. It's quite cliched actually, and it seems weird to say that because I know it's the true events and you can't change the true events if this is how it actually happened. But at the start of the film, you see them in middle school and they're like, oh, I'm just trying to fit in, but I can't fit in. Well, okay, middle school drama, rubbish we've seen 1,000 times. And then they get into the military academy and the guy's not cut out to be here, he's not up to the challenge, and you got that cliche stuff as well. And you're just getting fed this life story that you're just not interested in. And then like the second third of the film, they're on holiday in Europe and they're just going around the shops, going down the canal in Italy, taking selfies around the Colosseum, and you're like, okay, now I've just paid to watch people on a holiday. Is this supposed to be compelling to watch? The problem with this event that happened on the train is that there wasn't much story revolving around it to make a feature film out of. You have the incident on the train, the guys stop the terrorist, but that's all you have to work with. If that was the film, it'd be about 25 minutes long. So how do you pad out the runtime? Oh, let's just have their entire life story. That'll give us a film to work with. But it's just not a very compelling or interesting one, unfortunately. I think the story of this film would have made a much better documentary, and I never watch documentaries, so that's very rare for me to say, but I can just easily see this story serving a documentary better than it did a feature film. I was hopeful for this film, but overall just found myself bored of it. I'm going to give the 1517 to Paris a 2 out of 5. So have you guys seen the 1517 to Paris? What did you think about it? If not, what's your favourite train film? That's a good question to ask. My favourite train film is Easily Unstoppable. I love that film. Whatever your thoughts are on those questions, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more of my stuff, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.